3, 2, 1.
Oh, that wasn't a clap. That was a snap. But
Mine was a snap too.
Look at us. Still, we're in tune. Even though you said clap, we both still snapped.
Yes, that's very impressive, guys. If you are listening to this or watching this, you're gonna see that we're in different locations, different locales. We'll discuss as to why this is happening and how this is happening. But I just want us all to remember as we go through this podcast episode that we do a fuck ton for y'all. And even though we didn't make a video this past week, when we talk about our weeks, you'll hear this is a job to us at this point, and we're gonna make it happen, even if it's in dire circumstances, like it is today.
We were gonna make a video this week. We were all set to take our 4th of July and make a video. We had such a great idea that someone this week actually emailed us being like, please do this idea. So the people wanted this idea.
I know.
And that idea, I guess, will come at you next week.
It will come at probably this week. I'm thinking we should probably move the Devos watch party till next week, just so we make sure we're all as well.
The people are devastated. What a catastrophe all of this has been.
And you'll hear why. Everybody stay tuned for more information.
The people can guess why, bitch.
They don't know. I haven't said it. They don't know.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Two Gay Mats, the podcast. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And we are coming at you, and we are so excited. Our lighting is great. We look great. We feel half great. And Matt Palmer, should we just tell the people?
I mean, I guess I do have a story to share.
Tell the story. It's story time. Everyone gather around in a circle.
Everyone get around. It is story time, and Matt Palmer is going to tell you what his week was like last week. So, as if you remember from last week's podcast, Matt Steele and I went to the lovely wedding of Eric and Alyssa in Idlewild. It was a really lovely trip, lovely vacation, lovely time had by all. I come home and we do the podcast. I go throughout my week and my week's going fine, but I'm feeling a little tickle in the throat. But that happens. I haven't had a cold in a minute, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's just I'm getting a cold. It happens. It usually starts with the throat, then becomes a bit of a head cold. That's what I'm foreseeing happening. So I get through my work week and it's long story, but I'm essentially have started a new job as of last Monday. It's a similar job, similar things to do. The way it all happened was not I went to a brand new company, but whatever. I'm starting with new leadership. And so I'm trying to do my best and there's a lot more work on my plate. And I'm just I'm getting a bit more worn out at the end of the days. I'm not wanting to go to the gym on my lunch breaks I've been wanting to because I'm, feeling I'm getting a little under the weather. And Wednesday night, I tell Jackson hey, I'm getting a little tickle in my throat. I don't know what it is. And so before we go over to hang out with our friend Sarah and her family with a lovely young baby named Owen, I take a COVID test because I'm okay, if I am just getting sick, it's one thing. But if it's COVID, I should stay home, start recuperating, take the test, negative. I'm great, let's go. We play Monopoly. We finally beat Jackson Monopoly. He's won 10 times in a row. So it was a lovely night. I wake up Thursday and it like I was thinking with my cold, it's it's gone from throat to a head cold. I feel awful. I'm Jackson, I don't think I can go to your families today and hang out by the pool we planned on. So he went over there and I was still planning on going to Matt Steele's house that night to record our lovely video. Great idea. That's going to come next week, whatever. And I text Matt Steele around 5 being I don't think I can make it. I just really feel shitty. I don't know what's going on. And Jackson comes back from his parents' house the following day and he's my mom had an extra COVID test. Do you want to take it? And so I don't remember the timeline of when we received an email from people who went to the wedding apparently had come back positive for COVID. And it was very smartly and very helpfully. We were all emailed as people who were attending being hey, some people have gotten COVID. You should test yourself if you're feeling weird. So I take this other test Friday morning. Or maybe it was Friday afternoon. I don't remember when I took it. But it was when you, well, I guess I don't know if you've ever tested positive, but sometimes you test positive and it's oh, I'm doing the nose thing. And it maybe after 15 minutes, there's a little light line on that T. No. This was as soon as the drop got up to the line, the T was as bold could be. And it was you very much have COVID. I was oh, fuck.
You have the most COVID.
As of Friday, I had the most COVID. Luckily, this is my second time having it, and it's not as bad as the first time. It's mostly does just feel like a cold. But again, Jackson has not tested positive. Like, so he still doesn't have it, and we're sharing the same house. So I'm like quarantined to the room you're seeing me in if you're watching this, and the bedroom, and like everywhere else I have to wear like an N95 around my own home because I'd like him to stay, COVID free. But yeah, it's just, so the weekend, 4th of July was very like just me in my room watching Angels in America in the morning and then just, not doing a lot. And then that's kind of been my life ever since. And so it's nice to talk to a person, that I'm seeing, even though I'm not seeing you physically. I see you through the Zoom here, and that's lovely. But yeah, so I'm COVID positive at the moment. The CDC regulations are lighter now, but I'm like, I'm going to take all week to not be around people because they're like, once you start feeling better in like 5 days, you can just like go out and like have a normal life. I'm like, that seems short. So I'm going to give it till at least Friday until I'm around people again.
Sure, do what you can. You lead you have the ability to be able to like do things in home because you work from home.
I do.
So,
yes.
You're very lucky in that regard.
I am.
And it gives you a chance to, because in case you don't know, we are watching Angels in America this week because we are doing an Angels in America review on our Patreon because Grace, one of our patrons, she won the Tony Awards pool, which meant that she was able to request the next patron requested video. She jumped, to the head of the line, and her request was Angels in America because we are now becoming theater elites, and I was so excited.
The first half of Angels in America, just so we're clear.
Millennium Approaches, not Perestroika.
Yes.
But I mean, now you have time to watch Perestroika, motherfucker. So,
we'll see.
so I was very excited. I watched Angels in America with Travis on, I believe, Wednesday night. And
did you watch all of it?
Of course I did. I watched
all
it all
6 hours?
No, not all. No, I didn't watch Perestroika.
Okay.
Just Millennium Approaches. But it's so funny because I started it at like 9:00, and Travis was just like, "I'm just gonna watch like a little bit with you," and then he just sat there for 3 hours and watched the whole thing with me. And I mean, well, you'll hear more of our talk about it more if you're a patron. But so I did a little bit of that this week. Matt Bridges was in town this week. Our friend Matt Bridges is in town. So, I saw him. We were feeling very rambunctious and so we decided we were in Burbank. So we were just like, let's do a Warner Brothers studio tour.
Oh.
So I know it was very random. We just like went to Whole Foods in Burbank, and then he was just like, I really want to take a Warner Brothers studio tour. And I was like, okay, this is very spontaneous. And so then we started taking the Turner Classic Movies tour, and then in the beginning of the tour they asked like, have you ever taken this tour before? And he like raised his hand saying, yeah, I took it last month. And it's like, wait, you took this tour last month and yet you're dragging me to take this tour again? Whatever. It was still a really fun time. And yeah, 4th of July was also really fun. I saw my friend Lauren and her husband Matthew. I had like a little picnic with them and their parents and their little baby Harrison, and so that was very fun. I don't know, it was a very nice week. I worked a little bit. I watched a little bit of Angels in America. I went to the movies a couple times. It was a good time, and so there's so much to look forward to in this life, even when you're not feeling your best. I will say I've been going through some struggles myself because
what have your struggles been?
Well, okay, so for an audition that I have to record on Wednesday, I have to do a tap dance, and I have not taken a tap dance class in a long time. And so the tap dance isn't super difficult. It's challenging if you haven't taken a tap dance class in years.
I would imagine.
But if I were to have like been keeping up with tapping for, these several years I've known how to tap dance, it would not be the most challenging routine. But of course I have not been keeping up, so it is a little challenging. So I have been giving myself several days to prepare for this tap dance audition.
That's wise.
So I've just been tap dancing in my bedroom, like without tap shoes, because I'm going to rent a studio to do it with actual tap shoes. But I've been tap dancing in my room like a crazy person for like 2 hours a day to try to nail this routine. And these are muscles that I have not used in my legs for several years now. And so let me just tell you, my legs have been fucking killing me. Ever since, coming from this wedding and hearing that, there may have been COVID flying around the wedding, I
That's not how I would describe it, but yes.
When I first started like feeling like pain in my legs, I was just like, oh my God, are these body aches? Oh my God.
I know.
But then I was just like, oh wait, no, I have just been working out like secret hidden muscles in my calves that have not seen the light of day since I was 22. So,
does it come back to you? Is it like riding a bike? Does it come back to you, the tapping?
Well, I never learned how to ride a bike either, so
that's true.
Excuse me. No, yeah, I know how to do the steps. It's just it's a very fast routine. So it's a very short but fast routine. So,
and is this an audition that we're excited about? Is that why you're putting so much effort into it, or are you just like, oh, I just want to be able to do well at this audition? It's not like the biggest thing in the world.
It's an audition that I don't think I will get, honestly,
but
it's an audition I still, well, of course you never know, blah, 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 yeah. But but I still want to do a good job because it's like a good casting director and I want to show that like I can do a basic amount of tap dancing.
For sure.
But actually, can I? Because my legs feel like they're about to fall apart.
Just have Gregory Hines on the mind when you're doing it, and you'll be just as good as him.
I always channel Gregory Hines.
Perfect.
When I do my audition. But you know, it's been a strenuous week for both of us. But Matt Palmer, you still look great. You sound great. Your voice always sounds good. Like
I don't see.
Whenever Matt Palmer is sick, he's always just like, I'm sick, I can't talk. And it's like, you sound fine, motherfucker. Whereas like, I have like the tiniest little bit of allergies and my voice is gone for a week. Like
my voice never not never, but like doesn't go often, but I can tell. Like I can hear it in my headphones right now. I'm like, oh, this isn't as resonant as I would like it to be. This is a little more nasal. It's just it's a little not right. And as someone who's very connected to his voice, it just, it takes a toll. It's like, my fear whenever I get sick with anything is like, oh, I'll never sing again. Like that's literally, I've sung my last note. And so, yes, I'm very tuned into the voice differences. And I mean, of course, before we started recording, did I take a hit of Afrin? I did. I have my Afrin in hand. So,
ooh, girl, how many days in a row have you used that Afrin?
You and Jackson need to leave me alone. I have to breathe, okay? I will use it until I don't need it anymore. Period.
Last time I bought Afrin,
yes.
I looked at the box, and do you know what it fucking says on the box of Afrin?
What's it say?
Not recommended by doctors.
Wait, that's the whole sentence?
Yes, it says not in big capital letters, because I guess legally it has to like say that or some shit because of how like addictive Afrin is and how like you're dependent your body becomes on it after like 3 days of use.
Look, I have always used Afrin my entire life. I've yet to become addicted. I only use it when I'm sick. But do I follow the like methodologies exactly to a T? Who's to say? You're not supposed to do Q-tips. You do that. So
baby, those Q-tips go deep in my skull, bitch. I got a cranium full of Q-tips.
I guess we both do shit we shouldn't do. We're rule breakers. We're mavericks.
That is very, very true. Yeah, Afrin, I was talking to someone who was talking about her addiction to Afrin, and she was saying how her husband is very anti-Afrin, and she every night she has a secret bottle of Afrin in her nightstand, and so when her husband is asleep, she will open the what's it called, the drawer of the nightstand and quickly like spray Afrin in her nose because she's gotten to a point where she cannot sleep unless she's taken a hit of Afrin.
And this is like when she's not sick, just like regular.
Just regular.
Oh no, see that's bad. And as someone who's an Afrin apologist, I think that sounds bad. If I get to that point, I think it's fair that you guys organize an intervention for me because I cannot be like truly dependent on Afrin, but like for the rest of this week, I will be using it, and I don't want to hear anything about it. Okay.
All right. I'm not going to judge you. But as someone worried about your voice, doesn't Afrin dry out your vocal cords?
No, things are just like the vocal cords seem pretty fine. The worst thing to me is like not being able to breathe through my nose is like the worst feeling in the world. I mean, like literally. Dreadful. I can live like the thing is I should probably be taking more Dayquil and NyQuil than I take when I get sick. But the one thing I'll always take is Afrin because that's the most miserable part to me. The fact, the congestion, the inability to breathe through one's nose. It's like this is a torture chamber and I cannot live in a torture chamber. You know what I'm saying?
People are going to look back on this podcast and see this as the beginning of the end. They're going to look back on this podcast like years from now in the same way they look back on the podcast where the two of us were just like, this thing called COVID, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
I'm so glad we were not recording video for the podcast at that time, because there could be video floating of us floating around the internet being like, COVID's so dumb. Like, why are you guys worried about it? It's like the bird flu.
Listen, in January or February 2020, that was not a controversial thing to say.
It wasn't. In
March 2020, we were on board.
We were.
But you are still not on board about Afrin, which is not recommended by doctors. I guess you just don't. Yeah, justice for who? For the conspiracy theorists?
Justice for Afrin, and as soon as you get off Q-tips, I'll get off Afrin when I'm sick, okay?
No, Q-tips are the Lord. Q-tips
well, this is what I'm saying.
I will die on the Q-tip hill.
Right.
The thing with Q-tips is people are like, you're not supposed to stick them in your ear because you might stick it too far. And it's just like, yeah, if you're an idiot, like if you just like shove it like very recklessly in your ear, no, you do it delicately and gingerly.
Sure, but I feel like enough doctors have come out and been like, do not use Q-tips. Like, they've gone through the different ways to use it and are advising us all to not. And so that argument, while it is a good one, it doesn't hold up against the true doctors who went to med school about this. Right?
It seems like the two gay mats are not recommended by doctors. Doctors are not going to love this podcast.
No. Well, that's okay. If you're a doctor out there, I'm sorry if we've offended you. Dr. Woods, different kind of Dr. Woods.
We have a wonderful patron named Dr. Woods. Yes. She's a therapist or a psychiatrist. Right. I also just learned that there's a difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist. That's a new development. But she could give us her opinion on Afrin and Q-tips.
And I'd love to hear it. I'm sure she'd be right. She's right about everything except the Cinderella movie with Camila Cabello, which she loves, which I've never seen, but I've seen the clip of her singing Rhythm Nation. I'm just like, girl, no.
It could be great. I've never seen it, so I can't judge.
That clip is upsetting. All right, should we jump in to the news for idiots?
Okay, jump into the news for idiots. Thank you.
All right, this is another week. There's not like that much like high profile news, but news for our people. Wicked is moving back 3 days or something. Like the Wicked release date looks like it is moving 1 week forward to avoid Moana 2. So now it is going to be getting to us sooner than we ever thought it would. So those of us that were waiting until Thanksgiving for Wicked to be released, part 1, know that they can get to the theater a week prior and it'll be there waiting on all of us. I think that's lovely.
That's beautiful. I mean, yes. I think it was supposed to be released the 27th. Now it's being released the 22nd. Because competing against Moana, it was competing against the family audiences, which who's going to see Wicked? Families. Who's going to see Moana? Families. So you can't have that. So now Wicked is just competing against Gladiator 2, which, families aren't really seeing Gladiator 2. That's going to be, more of an adult film.
I assume it'll be our Gladiator 2.
I assume, yeah.
So the kids can't go see that.
It's got Paul Mescal in it, looking sexy as hell. So that's an R-rated movie, ladies and gentlemen. You can't take your under 17-year-old to see that.
No. Paul Mescal is just for the adults, and
it's
so
inappropriate.
I'm like, I've never seen Gladiator 1. I do like Paul Mescal. I don't love like a Roman Empire themed. And I don't like a period piece A, and I don't like the Roman Empire, like whatever Gladiator is. I don't super care about that, but I like Paul Mescal, so I don't know. I'm pulled in many directions.
As someone who never thought they would ever care about some sort of like action movie set in like Roman times, epic, historical, whatever. Like as a teenager, I was not into that shit. When I saw Gladiator, I was like, okay, motherfucker.
Really?
Gladiator fucking rocks. Like, I enjoy Gladiator a lot. So, so I'll be down to see Gladiator 2 and Wicked. And Moana. Wicked. Shit, why not?
Which one, of Gladiator 2 and Wicked, which will you be seeing opening night?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
You never know. Maybe you just gave me a whole monologue about how wonderful Gladiator 1 was. So maybe you're just in on Gladiator 2. I don't know.
Listen, I am a homosexual. Therefore, I will always put great female characters and musicals over hot men.
All right. I think that's beautiful. And that's the thing. Does Gladiator 2 have I'm Not That Girl reprise? I don't think so.
I don't fucking think so. Well, actually, Wicked 1 won't have I'm Not That Girl reprise.
Shit, you're right. But it'll have the original. It'll have
that's
the OG.
That's an Act 2, right?
You're right. But it'll have the original, yes.
It'll have I'm Not That Girl. Wait, you like I'm Not That Girl reprise more than the original?
Oh, I love them both. I love every version. Like that melody is perfect. That song is perfect. The heartbreak, the emotion. I like all versions. But Yeah, I'm excited to see. You know how I feel about Wicked, that musically it could be an EP, but I'm not the girl, and I'm not the girl EP. Not that girl reprise would be on that EP. So either way.
Okay. Well, both Wicked movies are going to be great for you, I guess.
I'm excited. I mean, the second one, I'm like trying to think of the songs I really need. I think it's just that and For Good. Like, is there anything else in the second?
That's incorrect because Thank Goodness is fucking excellent. And one of the best parts of the show, Glinda's part in Thank Goodness is incredible. And y'all know my thoughts on For Good. It is not my favorite song.
Wow, you're so hateful towards For Good. It's wild.
You literally just said that Wicked could be an EP. Don't be saying that I am hateful against Wicked just because
I didn't say Wicked. I said
For Good.
I said hateful against For Good because you are.
I'm not hateful.
You don't like it. What would you call it?
I had a smile. People can't see this because because they're probably not watching this on YouTube. But I said it with a smile on my face.
Okay,
so I didn't say it with. I did not say it with disdain in my heart. I just said there are other songs I prefer over For Good.
All right. Kesha's back with a new single, Joyride. I texted Matt Steele before the podcast being like, hey, make sure you listen to this so you can have an opinion. And I have to tell you, I blame it on my illness. I didn't listen. So you get to tell us.
Are you fucking kidding me? I did. Oh my God. I did the 2.5 minute homework that Matt Palmer gave me. And Matt Palmer didn't even do it.
Hey, but remember how I'm sick? I'm hanging on by a thread. Remember that?
Oh God, you'll be fine. Just take some Afrin, and your heart will be pumping for Joyride. The perfect way to listen to a Kesha song is while your heart is beating really fast on Afrin.
Oh my God, how do you feel about Joyride?
Okay, well, I listened to it about 6 times because it's fucking great.
Oh, okay.
When did it come out?
It came out on July 4th. It was Independence Day. I think it's her first single that she's releasing as an independent artist. This is on Kesha Records. She's now no longer part of Dr. Luke's label at all. And so that's why she's like releasing this on the 4th of July.
Okay, well, God bless America. We love independence because Joyride is fucking great.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I had a great time listening to it all 6 times. Kesha, I mean, I just love that her MO as a pop star is just fun.
That's like, true.
I am Kesha. Listen to me sing about fun, and it never gets tiring.
No, and it's like serious shit has happened to her, and she has addressed it in the music a few times over now. But at her core, she's like, but I want to live a joyful fucking life, and like that's the thesis of most of my music. And so you can jump on board and have a joyride or not. It's co-written with Madison Love, who's written with Ava Max, Lady Gaga, and Selena Gomez, and produced by Zone, who produced Rush by Troye Sivan. So it seems like it sounds like a hit just from its credits. I will give it a listen before the next time we talk. But yes, I got wrapped up. I was, in the back, shuttered away into my room, watching Friends while playing Mario RPG on the Switch. And so I lost track of time. And I was like, oh, I need to cut my hair. I need to get in the shower. And then, I will listen.
Why did you need to cut your hair? People aren't going
to because we're on video, darling. Some people will watch it.
But the thing is, like, don't you want to look the part of ill child that you are?
No.
Like, I look like a mess.
No, this is like when you dressed up for the live show and you were wearing a Kathy shirt. It's like you love to dress and like, oh, I'm being comedic. I'm in a comedic place. I'm going with the theme. My theme when I dress is always I want to look hot. Like literally, if I learned anything from Mariah Carey, it's A, get your lighting right, and B, the theme of your dress should always be look hot. Like I don't need any other themes. Hence why I'm like not great at Halloween, but I could find like a hot costume for that, but it just seems like more work,
Oh, good. Well, you know me in Halloween. I'm not putting in that effort. But also, after listening to the Kesha song, I also today listened to Gag Order again. I did a re-listen of Gag Order.
How does it feel to you after a year? A little over a year?
Gag Order has like risen in quality for me. Like when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, I like this. Like she's doing really experimental things. And I have to say, like, I appreciate it more and more, even more and more as time goes on. And I just want to reiterate that you are wildly incorrect about the song, The Drama.
I mean, I need to re-listen to it again, but it sounds like a song I didn't like, and I bet I'm still right about that.
You did not like The Drama on first listen, and you are so wrong because The Drama is fucking great.
Okay, well, I'll give it another listen, another watch or whatever. But I believe in my past self more than I believe in you. So Justice for me.
Thanks. Okay. Wow.
Next up, did you see that Emma Roberts has more to say about being a Nepo baby?
Give us all the details, Emma, please.
She has told us that she has lost jobs because of being a Nepo baby. She was asked if she was offended. She was excluded by New York Magazine amid their explosive Nepo baby discourse. She said, should I be offended? It was a cheap shot to put all the celebrity kids on the cover of a magazine on babies' bodies. It's like maybe the Nepo baby conversation would have been a more interesting article written intelligently in Vanity Fair with nuance, but instead it was kind of this viral hating on people thing. I've lost more jobs than I've gained from being in the business. Also, being in the business, meaning like being related to Julia Roberts, but whatever. People have opinions, and sometimes maybe they're not good opinions of people in your family. I've never gotten a job because of it. I know I've definitely lost a couple of jobs because of it. Okay, no one is saying that like now at this stage of your career that like being a Nepo baby is like getting you more jobs or like losing jobs for you. But those first jobs you got were because you were a Nepo baby. And like, it's not rude to say that. I say this to Ben Platt. I say this and like, just follow the Allison Williams method of discussing this topic, being like, yeah, it's not fair. And I work really hard at my craft and I want to be really good. But yeah, doors were opened for me because of people I'm related to. It's not fair. And it's like, yeah, that's all people want to hear. No one's attacking you really for being related to Julia Roberts. We're just calling things out, calling them like we see them. And it's like an acknowledgement is all people ask for, I feel like. And the idea of like, I've lost more jobs than gained from this. It's like, girl, please.
I truly don't know what she's talking about with that. Like, what people think you could, like, people think you can't do XYZ because you're Julia Roberts' niece. Like, I don't understand why that would make you lose a job. But this giant misconception that people have that, like, oh, when you're an actor, you just immediately just start going on auditions and you get roles or you don't.
Right.
It's like, that's not how it works. Like, getting the audition is like 90% of the struggle. Totally. And or getting the representation, the agents or the managers is like 98% of the struggle, you know? And so simply saying like, hey, I'm Julia Roberts' niece is literally like what gets you a much better agent, and that agent can also pitch you to casting, being like, hey, this is Julia Roberts' niece. Don't you want to see her for this audition? And of course they're going to be like, yeah. Like, so that's just, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just, I'm just saying that her perception of how the industry works and how she got to where she is a little short-sighted. There's some clouds in the way, which of course, like this was her experience. And of course, I have not seen the work that she has put into her craft, whatever acting lessons she has taken, whatever disappointments she has ever faced as an actor. I'm sure she has faced many, as everyone does. And so I'm not disregarding that. All I'm saying is it's more than just having a foot in the door. It's like literally having like an entire body in the door. And then like the extra work that you did put in through skill and talent and all that is just getting the head in the door. Finally the head in the door, so, wish her the best. She is very talented.
Hey, so, how I feel about her in Scream 4.
Yeah.
Should have won an Oscar. I think she's excellent.
You love her in Scream 4, yeah.
I do. And the argument is not that she's untalented, but it's also like, this is the reason why I feel like no matter how famous you get, it's good to have people in your industry that are not super famous, like as peers, like as friends, like then they could tell you their experience and maybe it would click for her. Like if you explain that to her, I don't imagine there's a world in which she's like, that's not true. Or like, I don't like, it's like, you just don't understand it because you are not relating to any other people in your industry in different positions. So I don't know. I like the girl, but it's just like, there's such an easy way to answer this question. And I wish more of these Nepo babies did it. Cause like, no one would get mad at them if they're like, yeah, I hear it.
Yeah,
hear the criticism.
And I get it. Like, she grew up surrounded by successful people, like surrounded by very famous people in the industry, people who have found a lot of success in the industry. But like there's also me who is literally destroying the joints in my knees trying to master this 20-second tap routine simply so that a casting director will call me in again. you know? Just because I want that casting director to simply like me. Because I know I'm not going to book this thing that I'm tap dancing for. But
you never know. I think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could.
Thank you for the faith in me. I appreciate it.
Yes. I have nothing but faith in you. And a person discussing his fame in a much more palatable way, even if he's being sarcastic. Kevin Bacon once disguised himself as a regular person for a day and realized, this sucks.
Wait.
Perfect.
Wait, I have a question. What does disguising yourself as a regular person look like?
Well, let me tell you. So in a new Vanity Fair interview, Kevin Bacon revealed that he used to daydream about walking life as a normal person. The Footloose star said he sported an intricate disguise featuring fake teeth, an altered nose, and glasses to live out his dream of experiencing life as a regular dude. So this is full like Tyra Banks in a fat suit walking around like I've changed my appearance and people legitimately don't recognize me. I'm not complaining, but I have a face that's pretty recognizable, he told the publication. Putting my hat and glasses on is only going to work to a certain extent. Still, he decided to fully commit to the temporary transformation. I went to a special effects makeup artist, had consultations, and asked them to make me a prosthetic disguise. The actor revealed he wore his custom camouflage getup to the Grove in LA. Nobody recognized me, he recalled. Though his plan worked, the actor realized he had rendered himself somewhat invisible. People were kind of pushing past me, not being nice. Nobody said I love you. I had to wait in line to, buy a fucking coffee or whatever. I was like, this sucks. I want to go back to being famous.
Nobody said I love
you. Which to me is like, I truly am reading this two ways. I'm reading it one in which he's being completely genuine and one in which he's like fully joking as far as like, nobody said I love you to me. And either way, it's fucking great. I love it.
I love it. It's hysterical. I also imagine like having an experience like that is also infinitely worse when you're uncomfortably wearing makeup.
That's probably true. Yes,
like,
exactly.
It's like walking around with a stuffy nose or something like that. Ugh. It's like, I got these fucking teeth in. Like it's just an unpleasant experience. So I imagine it was exacerbated by that as well.
That's
Kevin.
true.
But interesting. Okay, we love journalists who really, really commit to their art and doing the research. So it's very, very brave of him. To do so, cool.
I feel like this goes back to one of our earliest YouTube videos where we had a discussion about like which would you rather if you could only choose between having the fame or having the money. And I stand by, I don't need the I love yous. I don't need the like people recognizing you out because it's like, what am I really gonna say if I were ever to be famous and like someone talked to me? I'd be like, well, hello, thank you for watching. Like, see you around. Like, it would be awkward, I think. But the money seems great. The money of being famous seems great.
I like an I love you every once
in a while.
Or
you're a Kevin Bacon.
I'm a Kevin Bacon. Like I enjoy a compliment or two every once in a while.
I don't mind a compliment, absolutely. But like the idea of like, I could see like people putting like cameras in your face to take pictures. That seems unpleasant. Or like feeling like you had to lock yourself in your house so that you wouldn't have to deal with a bunch of people seems annoying. Like I'd rather be comply anonymous. You know?
Okay, but you as someone who is currently locked in your house right now, is that pleasant as well?
But just think of how much bigger my house would be. And I wouldn't have COVID in this dream scenario, so I'd be able to go to all the different rooms in the house. I could build the house to make it what I want. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you would have your own live-in doctor.
It's true. And I'm much more of a homebody than you are. I feel like you love to be out and walking about the world. I don't really need that. If I could just get in my car, take the top down, that seems lovely to me. But like walking around and like being amongst the people kind of gives me some anxiety. I don't need that.
Truly, if I could spend the rest of my life just walking around amongst strangers, like walking from place to place, I would have a great time. That would be a great life for me.
Yes, we're very different in that way.
Well,
did you see what happened with Normani? I feel like I start every Normani story like this.
What happened with Normani?
So Normani was scheduled to perform at last week's BET Awards, but she posted on social media that she had to pull out from performing at the last minute because she had an accident during rehearsals and injured herself, and posted of herself a picture of herself with a wrapped leg. I don't think she broke anything, but it's like it seems like a serious enough strain that like prohibited her from performing. She says, I am more frustrated and disappointed than anyone. Believe me, I wanted to get on here and give you guys an update, letting you know that while in rehearsals for BET, I had a really bad accident and injured myself. I am normally good for powering through under any circumstance, but unfortunately, due to my doctor's orders, I am just not able to make this performance happen. So her first big performance after her album was out was going to be on the BET Awards last week, and she couldn't do it. It just sucks. I just feel for the girl.
When's the next awards ceremony?
I mean, the VMAs, I think, are still happening, and they're usually in like September. So maybe for that she could
get
do
Normani on there, please.
Please. She's performed before. She did Motivation that one year, and it was amazing.
I wonder if she was tap dancing, and that because that is, as we know, the most strenuous of.
Hey, she really could have been. You know who used to tap dance? Speaking of the pop girls who tap danced, Maya from the late '90s. She was also in Lady Marmalade. If you're not familiar with Maya's like Case of the X video and song, she was a big tap dancer as well. I remember her tap dancing in the My Love Is Like Whoa video.
I know Maya very well. I know Chicago.
Oh, yes.
She's the Lipschitz jailer in Chicago. I didn't know she tap danced as well. That's cool. Didn't Paula Abdul tap dance as well?
That sounds right. I can picture her tap dancing. Was she tap dancing with MC Scat Cat, that cartoon cat she would hang out with sometimes?
Maybe. She did it all.
She really did.
She did it all. Hosted reality TV, everything. Well, not hosted, judged. True. Same. Feel better, Normani. Nurse your wound. And then get right back to us because you got some songs to promote.
I absolutely have some great songs on that record. If you haven't listened to it, we can't recommend it enough. Dopamine is great. Okay, there's a few more stories that I think I'll just whip through. You saw that JoJo Siwa confronted a crowd for booing her at NYC Pride. She said, "Who the living fuck just booed me? Respectfully, fuck you." And to that I say, okay, we've had our qualms with JoJo Siwa. Sure, she can be, not everybody's cup of tea. Don't boo the girl when she's on stage. Yeah. She's just trying to perform, do her job. She got booked for this gig. Even if you don't like her, get mad at the booker. Don't get mad at JoJo. She's just up there doing her job.
And she was probably up there dancing her fucking ass off. So
yes.
Good for her.
And her new EP with like 4 songs on it comes out in like a week or something. So that's exciting. Lily Allen has launched an OnlyFans account dedicated to her feet. I have no.
This took a turn in a direction I was not expecting.
And I don't really have much to say about that. Everybody likes what they like. I'm not here to kink shame. But I feel like Lily Allen has such good fucking music. There are so many great Lily Allen albums. I love her second album, It's Not Me, It's You, the best, I think. That, I'm all for multiple streams of income, but let's all remember that when Lily Allen came out, there was conversations around who's going to be bigger, Lily Allen or Amy Winehouse. They were the new British gals on the scene at the same time. So I just, if you want to get her OnlyFans content, that's great too. But just make sure to listen to her albums as well. It's like all those David it's like those David Archuleta fans who are like, oh, he's so hot now that he's gay. And it's like, but did you listen to Crush? Did you listen to the vocals? He's a singer, people. Listen up.
Respects the art. Love, support the art.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, I hope she's having fun. I'm glad she's having a good time. Sure.
Sure. I agree. Sure. Just like we predicted when we first heard the song, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is the official second single of the Tortured Poets Department. So that's very exciting. This sounds like an Onion article headline, but I believe it's true that Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods are opening a sports bar in Scotland. And I'm like, why? I don't understand how they, know each other. And it's, of course, the picture that I'm seeing attached to this story is both of their mug shots, which is too bad they both have those. But why? I guess Justin, the way to get us back into your good, well, I don't know if it would even work at this point, but just go on tour with NSYNC. Millennial people want to see you with those 4 other boys singing It Makes Me Ill, Bye Bye Bye, and the like. You don't need to be opening random sports bars. If you want us to forgive you for what you did in about 6 months to a year, do that.
To me, the in Scotland is the most perplexing thing. It's how you took the turn with that Lily Allen story, where it's Lily Allen has started an OnlyFans for her feet. It's like it's like Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake opening up a sports bar, and I'm like, okay, I can comprehend. And then in Scotland, it's like,
okay.
Oh.
Was
the real estate for like bars cheaper in Scotland, or like
Oh, I would like to say that apparently this is their second bar. They have they previously opened their first bar in Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, okay, Manhattan. That makes sense. Okay,
in September 2023. So they're just expanding.
Okay,
it looks like.
Okay, and hey, if you're going to expand, I guess do it in Scotland.
Yes, and they came up with the idea for the sports bar complex while they were golfing in the Bahamas. Oh, see, if we were rich, we'd come up with such dumb ideas. And we just do them. It would be great.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's like a dumb idea. Like, it's like, yeah, open up a sports bar, make whatever money you want to make. But it's like, oh, we came up with this idea while doing this. It's like, it's not that complex of an idea to come up with. Like, it's not like they sat and like really brainstormed this concept for days and weeks and months at a time.
And maybe when they came up with the idea, they were both more likable entities. Because I feel like now no one's investing in a Justin Timberlake sports bar. A bar with drinks like he had a DUI issue like 2 weeks ago. Like it doesn't ring beautifully true in my head at this point.
Rough. You know how that brainstorming happened? Tiger Woods said, hey, Justin, you know what I like? Sports. And Justin said, hey, Tiger, you know what I like? Alcohol. So they were like, let's combine the two.
Oh, it was an idea. It was a moment for them. Lastly, let's end on some happy news. We never do that. We're like the Mariah Carey album of podcasts. We love to end on the saddest news, but not this week. We're going to end with something happy. Margot Robbie, pregnant.
We love.
With child. We love.
Child.
Yes.
We love babies. We love women making their dreams come true.
Yes. And we love the Barbie movie.
We love the Barbie movie. We love it all. And Margot Robbie, she seems like a doll.
Yes.
She'll probably be a great mother.
I'm sure.
She's got the money to take care of that kid, Lord knows. So that's great.
Absolutely.
We love being able to financially support the child.
Yes.
We love. Congratulations.
Congratulations to her and to all involved. And I think that's all I have for News for Idiots. Matt Steele, do you have any other news stories you wanted to talk about today?
Not a one.
Okay. Well, then let's take a quick break and then be back with more 2K Mats, the podcast. 3, 2, 1, snap.
Yes.
Beautiful.
This time we said we were going to snap, and we did not clap. We snapped.
It's true.
Yeah. So I can't clap. I'm holding my microphone with my hand.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
Matt Palmer, give the people an ad.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to or watching the podcast this week. If you enjoy us, please make sure to go to your Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a 5-star rating or review. It helps us so much with the algorithms in both of those apps. And we want to make sure that people can see or hear this podcast as much as possible. And if you really enjoy us, go to patreon.com/2gaymats, where you can get extra bonus content from us and join the Discord for as little as $5 a month. You could just meet a bunch of friends you haven't met yet, chit chat with them about pop culture and pop music all the live long day, and just help support us living our dreams, living our truths, living our fantasies with all of you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
Living in a fantasy. Okay, so this is Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com. Lord. Yes, at 2gaymats@gmail.com. 2 is spelled TWO. So the first question, guys, this was sent to us a couple days ago by Olaf. And Olaf will be surprised to hear that he has a psychic, because literally the video we were about to record on Thursday before we found out about the illness was literally this topic that Olaf is asking about. So Olaf, the subject line is the importance of singles. Hi, Mats. To start, y'all are such joys to listen to, and your podcasts make me laugh and smile each week. As we all know, singles can make or break an album, so my question for y'all is which singles choices from albums made the album so big and successful, and which singles choices derailed the hype of an album? I would say Teenage Dream and 21 had fantastic single choices. What a time. And similarity, I will similarly. I will never understand how Me was chosen as a single before bops like "Cruel Summer" and "I Think He Knows." Yes, I think he knows representation. I love that song. Thanks for y'all's fantastic work. And one last question: when are y'all gonna react to Brat? Just kidding.
Oh, Jesus.
Olaf, you are both a comedian and a psychic. So the topic for the next video we were going to do was very much along these lines. We were going to talk about eras that could have been managed differently and what could have been done differently for like eras that did not go well for an artist in terms of like single choices or music videos or anything like that. So this email question is very much along those lines. So we'll give you some answers here, and then for more in-depth discussion, I guess check out our YouTube video that will come out whenever Matt Palmer's feeling better.
Yes. I mean, all I can really tell you is the 4 albums that we will be discussing on that video are Olivia Rodrigo's Guts, Mariah Carey's Equals MC Squared, Lady Gaga's Art Pop, which I don't know if that actually is the album of hers that I would refocus, but whatever. Wait, what was the 4th one?
I think Aphrodisiac by Brandy.
Aphrodisiac by Brandy. Yes. So I think, yes, most of the changes that I'd want to make to all these eras are relating to single choices because, again, you have an era like a 21, like a Daydream by Mariah Carey, like a Jagged Little Pill. Like a lot of these eras are so massive because not just the first single was incredible, but also the singles followed up in the right order at the right time. It was very clear what the singles were, and then like radio kept enjoying them like a Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. Like these are eras that were fully successful. But when something like Guts, the album is truly excellent. Like I would give it a higher marking than I would give Sour, but the way those singles rolled out will always be perplexing to me. Like, and the fact that an album like Equals MC Squared had Migrate featuring T-Pain being an incredible fucking song. It was 2008. T-Pain was everywhere, and they decided not to release it as a single. Like, these are thoughts and choices that keep me up at night. So whatever we call this new video, and I feel like there are going to be multiple videos about this coming up, whatever we call it, that is why it'll be nice to get it out that like these choices were made. They were incorrect, but if I were to go back and like fix these eras, this is what I would do.
Yeah. And I love that Olaf brought up Lover, Taylor Swift's album Lover. Because y'all know I'm a Lover stan. But also I think such a huge problem with Me that I feel like did not resonate with people is you could see the machinery behind it. Like,
for sure.
Whereas like songs like Cruel Summer on Lover, like you could tell were just like written organically by Taylor, and we're just like, I'm just going to write the best song I can. And it ended up being like excellent. Whereas Me, I'm a Me apologist. I think Me is cute and fun. If it was not on the album, I wouldn't lose any sleep, but I don't mind Me. Y'all are too hard on Me, but whatever. But I think the problem with Me is you can tell through the song that like it feels like she was writing it to be the first single, you know, like right. You could tell like in her head she was thinking I have to have a real catchy kitschy first single like a Shake It Off, you know,
exactly.
And that she was trying to essentially like recreate that moment. And so that's where I think Me kind of loses the plot a little bit, because instead of writing like just like a genuinely good song from the soul, it feels a little manufactured. Totally. And so that's why I feel like it doesn't work, especially in like something like 2019 where people were not interested in something like another Shake It Off, you know?
Right.
So that's where I think Me kind of falls short in the Lover era. I think if she had opened that album with You Need to Calm Down, I think that could have worked as that being the leading single. Because to me, Cruel Summer, I don't know if it's like, Cruel Summer is like probably the best song on that album to me,
for sure,
except for Cornelia Street, but whatever. But Cruel Summer to me feels like an incredible second single. That's like, oh wait, no, but listen to this, you know? Right. I don't know. So yeah.
I hear that. Yeah. I mean, I have meaner things to say about Me than you do, but I also like would not have hated if Cruel Summer was the first single. It's like, just give the people what they want, but it needed to be one of the first two, and the fact that it was neither the first or the second was shocking to me. But this is a song that has since gone number one. It has since become like one of her biggest hits, so it all worked out in the end. But at the time, it was very confusing to be a fan and be like, so wait, we're just not going to put this incredible song out right now? Like, why again?
Right. And then when she decided to put out The Man,
I forgot about that.
Taylor, what is going on when Cruel Summer is right? Because The Man was like, what, the like fourth single off of that album?
Oh, right. I guess so. Yes.
Because Lover was a single. And, I like Lover, but like the fact that Cruel Summer was not released for like 5 years after is like
shocking,
truly insane, but it ended up being the hit that it was always destined to be. So
absolutely.
Cruel Summer had the last laugh, guys.
It really did.
But yeah, so all off, thank you for the wonderful question. Hear more of our thoughts at some point in the near future when that video comes out. So this is a wonderful email from Trent, which has an interesting subject line that just says, I may just go to jail.
Uh-oh.
Hello. For the past decade, there has been a huge feud with my dad's side of the family. My mom, siblings, and I found out that he had had a whole other family for 7 years, resulting in my parents' divorce. Since then, my father has removed me and my sisters from his will and completely outcasted us to be with his new family. We had done nothing to him to make him do this. Since then, I have made it my personal business to defame his character on social media and to whoever would listen. He also, over the years, has been telling people he is ashamed of my sexuality, calling my sisters names, and I could go on. Because of my actions, my dad's side of the family chose to not speak to me or my sisters. My grandfather, his father, has, however, remained a strong presence in our lives and never set us aside. He has been my father figure over the years. I had been trying to reach my grandfather for the past several weeks, and I got super concerned because he is up there in age and has medical issues. I decided to physically drive the 2.5 hours to go to his house. No answer. As I'm going back to the car, his neighbor comes out and proceeds to offer condolences for his passing. Nobody fucking told me. I do take responsibility for the things I have said and done, but this is just completely unforgivable. I have also missed the funeral. I'm just trying to cope with all this and want to know if I would be validated for doing something very out of character like I want to, or just take this as a sign that I need to just move on but not forgive at all. Love, Trent. Trent, I am so sorry that
I am too.
All of this has happened to you, especially you losing your grandfather who was very important to you, and the fact that you were not told by anyone.
It's really wild. Like, I understand, like, people always have issues, and like it seems like there was strife going on within your family, but you would think that something like that, knowing how close he was to you, that they could put their personal feelings aside and be like, hey, you should know this is the funeral. I was kind of going to suggest the second option that you provided us. I was going to say, okay, this is the time where it's just like, okay, there's no connective tissue now. Like, I know that, like, technically your biological father is the connective tissue, but like if he's been out of your life for X amount of time, you're not looking to rebuild a relationship there. I think it's just now time to cut that tie with the family out and move on with your life. And it's sad, and like maybe they will come around or he will come around, but it is not your responsibility if it's like weighing on you, or if you feel like, I don't know, if you feel like this is the healthier choice. Like, it's clearly, it elicits a lot of anger in you and like a lot of like feelings, understandably. And to me, from what you told us, it sounds like safer to distance yourself from that side of the family now that you don't have your grandfather as like a connective tissue. I wouldn't do anything else. It seems like you both have done enough attacking of each other. I would kind of just cut it off and let it go and move on with my life if I were you.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know what you mean by saying it, like, should I do something very out of character? I don't know what you necessarily mean by that, but I definitely say the second option might be better. I mean, the furthest I would go would be maybe just to sort of like get your feelings out about how hurt you are about the situation, is like maybe a letter sent explaining your feelings, and then at the end of the, like, to either your father or to someone on your father's side of the family about how hurtful and wrong that was, and then at the end of the letter you can say, I am just sending this to you so you know, there is no need to reach out to me unless it's to apologize. But because I think it can be very cathartic if you let your feelings out in either a written form or something like that. I always find very helpful. But yeah, or I wonder if if your grandfather had like any friends who are not connected to your family, if you could reach out to them, that way you still feel some sort of like connection or closure with your grandfather. As far as that goes, maybe talking to, your grandfather's neighbor who you already, spoke to, maybe talk to the neighbor a little more. But yeah, I definitely think the second option is more beneficial just because defaming like everyone even more is just adding so much more fuel to the fire and will just add so much more anger on your part. And I don't think that is helpful in the situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Look at us agreeing.
I know. I am so sorry about that, Trent. That is
too.
really, really terrible.
It's an awful situation. And you're handling it as well as anyone could at this point. Yeah. And I'm glad you've not done anything drastic yet. And I hope that you continue to not, because you can then it can be something of the past and you can remember the good things about your grandfather and like have the closure with him in whatever way possible and not, bring it down in the mud with these people.
Yeah, and just know that there are so many people out there who love you and adore you and support you regardless of who you are or anything like that. So you have such a wonderful community, including us, the 2K Mats.
Yes.
And even though we haven't met you, we love you.
We do.
So you have wonderful people in your life. Don't worry about those other people. Cling to the people who have your back and who love you and support you no matter what.
Agreed.
Okay. I love this subject line of this next email. It is from Rocky, and this subject line is Broadway is back.
Jesus.
Hi, Matt. Sorry for the subject line, Matt Palmer. I just wanted to hear Matt Steele say it one more time, and you groan about it. Haha. With a new Big Brother season about to start, I was wondering if you ever thought of a contingency plan for if and when Matt Palmer is cast on Big Brother.
Matt Steele is cast.
Oh, Matt Steele, sorry. When Matt Steele is cast on you could be cast on Big Brother too, Matt Palmer. We could be a secret duo.
That would be great.
I believe contestants must keep it secret until the season premiere. Matt Steele would obviously have to tell Matt Palmer, but how would you go about keeping this secret from the Cathys when Matt Steele goes into sequester? And while the season progresses, would there be guest hosts for the podcast? Would there be a podcast segment of how Matt Steele's doing on Big Brother? Also, Matt Steele, when you get your key to the house, what scene would you act out? Grabbing someone's order from the back of the restaurant and it's a key? Filming the podcast with Matt Palmer and he hands it to you? Cautiously optimistic for the new season, but as always, it'll go downhill one way or another. Rocky, I love how you're keeping it real. Yes, I would very much rather my key be displayed to me as like a podcast segment and not like, Matt Steele works at a restaurant. I think the angle, if I'm giving CBS some advice, the angle should be Matt Steele is a podcaster. And Matt Palmer goes, Matt Steele, I found this. I think it's for you. And I go, oh my God, my key to the Big Brother house. Are you kidding? Oh my God. And then Matt Palmer's like, you have 10 minutes to pack. And I go, oh my God. And so I rush out of Matt Palmer's apartment and I zoom down to my apartment and I'm like folding on my underwear, just being like, I can't stand phony bitches and blah, 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 blah.
Jesus.
Giving my whole spiel there. And I know my final moment of my intro package in the premiere will be me grabbing my Carol Channing doll's hand and dragging her and like picking her up and going, come on, Carol, let's go. And that'll be my segment. So Matt Palmer, what would you do if I was cast on Big Brother? How would you run the podcast? The people would just be devastated and miss me so much.
They would be devastated. They'd miss you so much. I think we have a good number of people who could co-host the podcast and the YouTube videos in your absence. And I think I would just tell the people, Matt Steele, he's an actor. He got a gig. He's on set. And he'll be back, but this is his number one priority. And we sending him all the love. And until he comes back, here's Janie, here's Rory, here's Matt Bridges. There'd be many people here as co-hosts. We wouldn't say it was Big Brother until it started airing. And we would absolutely Like there'd be such the podcast would sadly become about how Matt Steele is doing on Big Brother for a lot of it. Like I feel like I do the other topics, but of course, if you're watching Two Gay Matts and one of the Matts is on Big Brother, this is becoming partially a recap podcast. Period.
Oh, and let me tell you, those moderators in the live stream are going to be using those wrenches and blocking people left and right because you will get people hating me, popping in through the woodwork.
Why would they hate you? You're going to be the most loved cast. You're going to be the, what do they call the person? Miss Congeniality? What are you?
America's favorite player?
America's favorite.
Yes. No. First, even if you are the most beloved contestant of all time, you will get haters. It's just how it goes. It's just how it is. And I'm truly not afraid of that. Okay. But yeah, so you will have people popping in. So you're going to have to be taking care of that. But also sequester. I've just found out that tomorrow is when they're taking the new cast members and taking them into sequester. So that's when that happens. So sequester usually lasts like a week and a half, but probably just a week before the cast is announced. So it's probably only going to be a week, like one podcast.
That's nothing.
Where you're going to have to be lying your ass off.
Totally.
But the thing is, like, everyone's gonna fucking know if it's the week before the Big Brother premiere, and you're like, "Oh my God, Matt Steele, he's just out of town." Everyone is gonna be like, "Motherfucker, are you kidding me?"
Hey, I'm not saying it. I'm not breaking a damn NDA. I know they're going to make me sign some shit, and I'm not going to say it on Front Street. But this has also come up because there was a reality show that I was going up for in like the spring or something. I didn't get it, obviously. But there was a moment where I was like, okay, Matt Steele, if I'm on this, I'm out for like 6 weeks or something. And he was, I mean, you were going to figure it out. Like, we always have to have backup plans because we could be on a reality show that takes up all of our time at any moment.
I know. So, guys, any second now, one of us is going to be missing from the podcast. And just know it's because they booked a reality show.
And the thing is, they'll know because it's like, these bitches came on when Matt Palmer had COVID. Like,
I know.
They're always here.
Yeah. This isn't like 2019, 2020 where we were just like, let's not film the podcast this week.
No, we're on a schedule. And I mean, people love a schedule. I think it's helpful. I think people know when and where to find us. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Matt Palmer just takes a couple of hits of Afrin and just goes, he could be dying. His legs could be falling off and he will just be like, okay,
get the Afrin. Here we go.
Get the Afrin. That's literally, that should be, if you get cast on Big Brother, your final, like my final thing is grabbing the Carol Channing doll. Your final thing will just be like, okay, I'm ready.
Why am I going to be known to like the CBS audience as an Afrin addict? I am not that. Only when I'm sick. When I'm sick.
Because they have to do a drug test on you before you enter the Big Brother house. They're going to be like, oh, we found huge amounts of traces of Afrin in your blood system, Matt Palmer.
And I'm like, hey, and I'm breathing great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, so hopefully that plan comes to fruition. I can say with confidence it is not happening this year, but Big Brother 27 is just around the river bend, darling.
Exactly. Oh, sorry. We were talking about reality shows, so I forgot one piece of news that I wanted to discuss that I had not discussed. Guys, Summer House is on the way to replacing, I can't say it, but at this very moment, Summer House is the better of the two shows between Summer House and Vanderpump Rules. And I just have to announce, remember Matt Steele when I was talking about the two people who were engaged all of last year, and at the end of the season, they like called off their engagement. There's this girl, Lindsay, this guy, Carl. They are going back into the Summer House. The entire cast is going back except one girl, Danielle, who we love everyone, won't really be missed. Lindsay and Carl are both going back. And on July 4th, while I'm lying in bed, high off Afrin and doing nothing, scrolling on my phone, I see Lindsay pop up on my Instagram feed covering her belly saying I'm pregnant.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, of course, she's an influencer now because she's been on the show for so long. So it's like a Clear Blue ad. She's like definitely done a paid post about announcing her pregnancy to the world. But yeah, she got a new boyfriend in, I believe, January. And is going into the Summer House.
I was thinking it was with the pregnant with the exes.
No, it's not with the exes, baby.
These people move so fucking fast. They do. Literally, straight people get out of and back into relationships and they start families in the amount of time it takes me to Q-tip my ears. Like I don't know how straight people move this fast.
It's wild, but it does also, like, she is, of a certain age. Like, she wanted to have a family so very badly. So she's excited. I'm happy for her, but it is wild because the rumor had been going around for a long time that Dorinda, who is a housewife of New York, originally Lindsay supposedly was going to be on this season of Traitors, but at some point in the process of casting, Dorinda found out that Lindsay was pregnant and told producers that she was, because someone she wanted to be on was told they couldn't be on because they're pregnant. And she's like, well, Lindsay Hubbard is pregnant on Summer House, so she can't be. So when I was like, why is Sierra coming on this show? This girl from Summer House who's like fine, but not really like a breakout star. It's like, oh, they cast Lindsay, but then uncast her because she's pregnant after Dorinda told producers she was pregnant. So it's a mess, but I can't wait till next season of Summer House happens, and I would need to get more information about the whole Traitors of it all. Did Dorinda really tell producers about this pregnancy to get her kicked off the show? I need to know.
All right, guys, sometimes the drama behind the cameras on reality TV is more exciting than drama in front of the cameras on reality TV. Except for me and Big Brother. I will be drama and fun. Cast me, goddammit. There's still time. There's still like 24 hours.
Oh my God. Imagine next week you're not on the podcast. I'm like, guys, he booked something. I can't say what.
I can't wait. So, Matt Palmer, shall we go to the next segment?
I guess we should. Well, this is the segment called Give Me Moments, where we talk about the content we've consumed this week and that we very much loved. And so, Matt Steele,
yes,
what has been giving you moments, darling?
So I went to the cinema this week. I saw, I'm calling it A Quiet Place 3, because it is technically in the timeline of production, it is the third A Quiet Place movie that was made, but I'm hearing from people that it is technically not A Quiet Place 3. It's a separate spinoff of the A Quiet Place world, just called Day One, A Quiet Place Saga or something like that. How like Rogue One is not in the Star Wars timeline, whatever, I don't know.
Right, it's a prequel, right?
It's essentially, because the thing is, A Quiet Place 1 was about like how these like monsters or aliens have been on Earth for probably like a year-ish, and then A Quiet Place 2 sort of like flashed back a bunch of times to Day One for that specific family. But this movie, A Quiet Place Day One, is just about a different story, a different setting.
Oh, okay.
So it is Day One, like how parts of Part 2 were, but yeah. So A Quiet Place Day One is starring Lupita Nyong'o, Academy Award winner, Best Supporting Actress 2013. And and I love the A Quiet Place series. I think it's a really fun story. I think that first one is really, really especially great. So this one is starring Lupita Nyong'o, and she plays, you don't know what disease she has. You assume it's cancer or some type of cancer, but it's never really fully explained. She is in a hospice center. I am assuming in New Jersey, and she and the other people in the hospice center are taken to New York City to see a play, and then the aliens land. Shit ensues. They got to be real quiet. Y'all know what happens in A Quiet Place.
Right.
And it's so fucking good. Lupita Nyong'o is so good. Like she's great in everything, but like she's really great in this. But my favorite aspect of this movie is basically these aliens land, and she, has to try to figure out what is going on, but she also knows I'm dying. Like it's inevitable. I literally had probably like a month or two left to go. And so now I guess that's going to be sped up a little bit from these fucking aliens. So you want to know what I want to fucking do? Get one final slice of pizza from my favorite pizza place in New York City. And I'm just like, if that is not the most goddamn tri-state area plot I have ever heard in my entire life, it's just the goal of the entire thing is not so much surviving, But I want to get that final perfect slice
piece of pizza.
I want to get that New York City pizza, motherfucker. Let's go. And so she goes on this adventure. I mean, I'll call it an adventure. It's not really an adventure because, it's truly horrific. With this guy she meets, played by Joseph Quinn, who's also really, really fucking great.
Oh, good.
For some reason, he follows her. And so she has to try to get him on this ship that is taking these people, saving these people. Because you find out in the second A Quiet Place that these creatures can't swim. So in the movie, day one, they blow up all the bridges and everything. To essentially protect the rest of the country. And so she is essentially trying to get this guy to one of these ports of safety to get saved by a boat, while also trying to get that final delicious slice of New York City pizza, even though the pizza is, days old and has been sitting there through a basic apocalypse. She still wants that disgusting lone slice, because even a days old slice of Northeast pizza is better than any other slice of pizza around the country.
I would have never guessed that was the plot of the movie. I would have never guessed that is what Lupita is really fighting for in this film.
It's more than just the piece of fucking pizza. I am putting a lot of emphasis on the pizza. The movie obviously is about so much more. It's about, essentially all these people going through this horrific experience together, and she is someone who is dealing with her own personal mortality while the world is ending around her. It's about bigger issues and everything, but just the simple mission is fucking brilliant. The what do you want to achieve at the end of the day, which is very much a tactic and storytelling 101. Okay, yeah, we get what the broader themes are, but what is just the objective of the main character? The fact that this was it is my favorite thing on the planet. It's so fucking great and funny and heartwarming and touching, because it's something that she's connected to so much because she grew up in New York City. There's, a backstory regarding her father and everything with the pizza, which, you're going to have to check out and see to get those details. Because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I fucking love it. Make every movie where the objective is, I just want one last final slice of pizza before I get ripped to shreds by an alien.
Perfect.
It's great. Yeah.
Who knew? Okay. That also was not the movie I was thinking you were going to talk about today. Because I know you saw another film, right? You saw the
Kinds of Kindness. Kinds of Kindness is very fun. It's very bonkers, but it's Yorgos Lanthimos. So of course you're watching a lot of it just going, girl, what? The entire time. That's very fun. It's very much like a trilogy movie where it's 3 different stories, which I did not do any reading on Kinds of Kindness before I went into the movie theater. So I did not know it was going to be a 3-part story with 3 completely different stories where all the same cast members are playing completely different characters in each of the stories, except for one character who is the same character throughout all 3, which is really fun.
Okay.
But yeah, Kinds of Kindness is very fun if you're in the mood for something a little different. And we were on the Discord talking about which part was our favorite part, and we all have various different opinions. Because to me, part 3 was so fucking good. And that was my favorite part. But I know Jordan on the Discord is just part 1 is the best part. And
then I think Sarah said part 2.
Was part 2. And we were just well, so there's something in it for everyone, I guess. Go and see that and let me know which part you think is the best one.
Okay. Yeah. Now we know.
So Matt Palmer, what was giving you moments this week?
Well, I didn't consume a lot of new content because, again, I, generally like to watch things with Jackson, my boyfriend, and we are separated right now because I have COVID and he does not. And so we cannot be in the same room. So I was watching a lot of old shit that I, maybe he doesn't enjoy as much as I do. And I just got to say, and I know I say it every year or two on this podcast, everyone talks shit about Friends because it's an easy fucking target. That show is brilliant. I've literally powered through maybe end of season 3 into now I'm nearing the end of season 5. Monica and Chandler have just now gotten together. And the episodes in which the other people find out that Monica and Chandler have gotten together are so incredibly fucking funny. there's just such incredible work happening from all of these cast members. All of these actors are really doing their best work, and people love to shit on Friends for reasons that some are valid. Yes, everyone's white. It's annoying. There are many shows where everyone's white. All right. It happens a lot. It happens on shows that are out today, and Friends has many great qualities and is the building block of a lot of great shows we watch in the world today. And so I just want us all to remember there's a lot of good shit in Friends, and we need to give it the justice it deserves. And by the way, while I was doing that, it was very much like, oh, I'm revisiting my childhood because I also had the Switch back there, and I was playing I was almost finishing up the new refurbished version of Mario RPG, which has come to the Switch. This is a game that I grew up with. I very much loved. It was like the first Super Nintendo RPG game that starred Mario, and I don't know, it was like not on Switch for the longest time because the original publisher and Nintendo like got into a feud at a point, and they've just now basically mended fences. And so now this new refurbished version has come out with better graphics and like better music. And I am nearing the end of the game. Finally, I finally beat Valentina. I beat the like Power Rangers-esque villains that I got the 6th star piece. And so now I'm back at Bowser's Castle at the beginning, trying to get the final star piece. And it's funny when I'm replaying these games that I grew up playing, like when I played Zelda over COVID times, I always remember the beginning the most because it's like that's where I would play the most. And like when I get to the end now, I'm like, I don't actually remember how this game ends. I don't remember like how I'm gonna beat. I believe the final boss is a big knife, and I don't know how I'm gonna beat that knife. But I'm just enjoying it so much playing it, and it's reminding me of my childhood. I may have to play. They just did a version of Paper Mario. I think the 1,000-Year Door has just come to Switch, and maybe if I beat Mario RPG, maybe I'll go on to that next because there's just a lot of great shit with an RPG. I love a turn-based RPG. It's not Jackson's favorite thing. So now that we are in separate parts of the home, I can really put my focus, my energy into Mario RPG and Friends. My top two when you think about it.
The main monster's a knife.
Yes, it's a large...
Okay, cool. Anyway, that is something that just like made me not like everything else you said after that was just in one ear out the other. I was not comprehending because I was just thinking about the knife.
Because usually on Mario games, you're fighting Bowser, but on this version of the game, maybe there was a moment I was fighting Bowser, but now Bowser's on my team. Like I'm playing as Princess Peach, I'm playing as Bowser, I'm playing as Mallow, who's a cloud who thought he was a frog, and I'm playing as Gino, who is kind of like Pinocchio, but his own thing. And then Mario. We're like a big team together.
Who was a cloud who thought he was a frog.
Yes. Do you have questions?
I think you're still on your Afrin high.
This is not Afrin related.
Okay. And also, of course, you're beating the game when you're just like pumped up on Afrin and you're just like, I finally beat the game. I beat the game.
I think you're thinking... You think Afrin is doing more for me than it's actually doing. It's truly just clearing my sinuses. It's not like I'm not taking it to the head. It's not like, woo, I'm high on Afrin. It's just like, oh yeah, I can breathe.
Do you know how much Afrin speeds up your heart rate?
Look, I'm not going to look it up as much as I'm not engaging with that information. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just going to be taking my Afrin so I can breathe and I can live. I'm sorry for living.
You don't need to do your research because all the research is on the box. You know that it is not doctor recommended. Zero in 100 doctors recommend Afrin.
Just like Q-tips.
Listen.
Just like Q-tips.
All right, well, I guess... Well, let's see which one of us dies first, okay?
I guess that's what it'll be. One of us is definitely going to die from either Q-tips or Afrin. The only options. Guys, this was so much fun.
This
Matt
was great.
Steele, it was just the two of us today, and it was so lovely.
I was about to be like, it's always just the two of us, but then I forgot, oh no, we usually do a live stream.
We do.
Oh, we miss the people.
I know, but we'll be back, I think, by next week. I'm hoping, honestly, if by Thursday night I'm feeling good, maybe we can record that video then. We'll see. But long and short of it is this has been lovely. I hope you've enjoyed listening to and or watching the podcast. And we'll be back next week with more 2Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.